The Hoot Gibson Award is the pinnacle of achievement.
The Weldon B. Gibson Distinguished Volunteer Award reflects years of exemplary service to Washington State University.
To receive the Hoot Gibson Award means you've made it to the top in terms of volunteerism on behalf of WSU and the WSU Foundation.
It's named after one of our most beloved alumni.
The bottom line is the Hoot Gibson Award goes to who we think are the top volunteers. And who better than Ron and Heidi Stanley.
She was a go-getter, and she was very active. She was very busy. She was a Girl Scout from the time she was a Brownie, all the way up through senior high school, and had lots of activities at school.
Well, Heidi and I are cousins. And even when we played, you know, she was kind of in charge, and she made sure that, you know, we all did what we were supposed to do.
There's no question Ron was a very active young fellow. Had lots of friends, so he was off playing a great deal. As far as student is concerned, he was a good student. Once he got into Cub Scouting, did exceptionally well on selling. In fact, I always felt that he could probably sell snow to the Eskimos.
Ron made it to the pinnacle of scouting, becoming an Eagle Scout at the age of 16. Ron Stanley and Heidi Bach met at Lewis and Clark High School.
And from then on, they were pretty much the two of them.
Ron helped out at his family's new business after school and on weekends.
His help was helping in warehousing and putting orders together or merchandise on the shelf, as well as out on the delivery vehicle. So that's how he got his start with us.
Following graduation, Ron began his quest for a degree in mechanical engineering at WSU. He was active in Sigma Nu and in the honors program. 2 years later, Heidi graduated from LC and followed him to Pullman.
She absolutely loved her time at WSU.
Heidi pledged Kappa Alpha Theta as a freshman and was on a number of committees. She excelled in the School of Business. Ron graduated from WSU in 1978. Heidi followed in 1979.
He went to work for IBM in San Jose, California. And then 2 weeks after Heidi graduated from college, they were married here in Spokane, and Heidi went with him to San Jose.
Heidi also began working at IBM. In 1985, they moved back to Spokane when Ron began the transition to succeed his father in the family business, Empire Bolt and Screw. Heidi began a long career with Sterling Savings Bank, ultimately becoming its chairman and chief executive officer.
But the minute they got back up here, the love affair for WSU immediately took over again.
One of the committees on the WSU Foundation is the audit committee, which is, needless to say, a somewhat dry job. Nobody wants to do it, and Ron chaired the committee for a number of years.
Ron ensured that we were in full compliance, and he did that in a gracious manner.
Heidi provided critical leadership as chair of the planning committee.
Well, Heidi is a gifted natural leader, and if you were to draw a definition of the ideal WSU Foundation person, the definition would be Heidi. She just has such incredible leadership skills.
She was the lead on the reorganization of the Washington State University Foundation. She was the one who led us from a time when we simply had a board of trustees to the new organization where we have both a board of trustees as well as a board of governors. And she navigated that with extreme expertise.
And Heidi put the team together and came up with this particular solution, and we've been working well under that reorganization ever since.
Heidi and Ron Stanley have been giving their time, talent, and treasure to Washington State University for more than 28 years.
Not just the WSU Foundation, but the colleges of engineering and business, the athletic department, WSU Spokane, it's across the board.
They have been named benefactors to the university.
You know, if you were to draw up the model Cougars, it's Ron and Heidi. It doesn't matter who calls or why they're calling. Ron and Heidi usually say yes, and we've tried not to abuse that, but we've been really grateful for it.
And their volunteerism extends beyond WSU.
And I know Ron and Heidi do a tremendous amount of work in the Spokane area.
Including the Spokane Symphony, Ronald McDonald House, the YMCA, Rotary, and many more. And of course, they're both avid Cougar fans.
They are the best dressed Cougar fans out there. They're always dressed to the nines in their crimson and gray.
Apple Cup 1997 in Seattle, and that was the determining game for whether we would go to the Rose Bowl. Heidi and Ron were there. We were not. We get this phone call as the game ended. They are both in tears, roses in their mouths, yelling, "We are going to the Rose Bowl!" And you could just hear the joy and elation in their voice. It was like the epitome of a Cougar moment.
Everything that they do, you have to multiply it times 2 because they make that kind of a sizable impact on whatever they're involved in.
Heidi and Ron are excellent examples of those of us following in their footsteps of achievement and how selfless we could be in our devotion and our efforts to WSU.
We will be far better off if we have more Ron and Heidi Stanleys out there helping WSU in all the ways they help us.
It is my pleasure to lend my voice of endorsement to Ron and Heidi. As individuals, they have made an unparalleled difference for our institution. As a couple, they have simply been remarkable. From volunteers to benefactors, their generosity is unparalleled.
Tonight, we honor a couple who give so much to Washington State University.
When I heard that they were being the recipients of this award, I have to tell you that I probably got a smile on my face and said, you know, I can't think of 2 other people that could be any more deserving than these 2.
And I know that they will be very proud of this honor and will treasure it forever.
Please join the WSU Foundation in congratulating the 2010 Weldon B. Gibson Distinguished Volunteers, Ron and Heidi Stanley.